The message arrived while I was boarding a plane. One line, nothing else. We need space from you. Please don't reach out anymore. At all. I read it 3 times. The name above the words, my wife's. The we cut deeper than the don't. My children's faces flickered in my mind, their small voices, their laughter. A man can survive being unwanted, but erased? That is something else. Passengers shuffled around me. Overhead bins slammed shut. A stewardess smiled, asked if I needed water. I nodded, though my throat was dust. The plane rose. My marriage fell. Hours later, when the signal returned, I learned where she had gone. My wife and kids had moved in with him, her lover, the shadow I had once dismissed as harmless. I typed one reply, calm, calculated, of course. Tell your lover I'll cancel my $500 million investor check. I pressed send. By midnight, they called. Their voices shook, pale through the screen. I didn't answer. I let the silence do what fury never could. In betrayal, the first wound isn't the act, it's the performance. The smiles, the warmth, the staged affection covering the rot. I replayed everything. The sudden late nights, the way her phone tilted away from me at the dinner table, the hollow excuses, my children's hesitations when I kissed them goodbye before trips. Pieces scattered across years finally arranged themselves into a picture I had refused to see. It wasn't only her leaving me. It was her teaching them, my children, to leave me too. To believe I was disposable, an obstacle, not a father. On the surface, I stayed composed. I answered business calls, signed contracts, delivered polished words into polished rooms. But inside, the ground shifted. There are betrayals that break you. Then there are betrayals that awaken something colder. Mine awakened calculation. I began tracing threads. Financial records, joint accounts bled into private ones. Transfers, hotel receipts, small luxuries she had never asked for before. All funded by my name, my signature. Phone records, late calls when I was across oceans. Numbers I recognized, hidden behind initials. Social media too, photos curated with precision. But metadata does not lie. Locations, timestamps. Every breadcrumb led me deeper. And all the while, I smiled. Took her calls when she pretended to update me about the kids. Listened to her carefully balanced lies. She thought she was playing me. She never realized I had stopped playing long ago. I visited the house they shared in secret. I didn't knock. I stood across the street in silence, watching shadows move in rooms that once held my life. My children's laughter bled faintly through the walls. Laughter paid for by my name, my empire. It wasn't rage that kept me there. It was focus. The slow, deliberate sharpening of a blade. The final piece arrived through a courier envelope. DNA results. I had requested them quietly, knowing suspicion alone wasn't enough. One child was mine, one was not. The paper didn't tremble in my hands. My hands were steady, as though they had always known. That evening I called her. My voice was quiet, stripped of warmth. Come by tomorrow. We need to talk. She arrived the next day with a smile rehearsed in the mirror, a performance polished for sympathy. Her lover waited in the car, engine running. I slid the envelope across the table, said nothing. Her face drained as she read. First confusion, then denial, then panic. This doesn't change, she started. I interrupted with silence. Just silence. The kind that forces truth out of liars like blood from a wound. Her hands shook. She glanced at the window, where her lover waited, where safety idled in a running engine. But there was no safety left. I leaned back, calm, as if discussing weather. The investor check I mentioned, I said. It was never mine to cancel. It was mine to sign. He'll hear from me tomorrow. Not about the money, about who you are. Her breath caught. She understood. Her lever wasn't after her. He was after the empire, the access, the $500 million illusion she dangled in his bed. Without it, he would vanish, and he would take her with him. She tried to speak, but words failed. Tears came instead, desperate, heavy. I stood, collected my coat, walked to the door. Her voice cracked behind me. "Please, don't do this." I paused, my hand on the knob. "I'm not doing anything," I said. "I'm simply stepping aside." The house I returned to was empty, but it was mine. Silence filled the rooms, but it was honest silence. Not painted with deception, not echoing with another man's footsteps. I poured a drink, sat in the dark, and realized something simple. They had chosen to leave, to erase me, to trade truth for comfort, loyalty for lust. And in the end, all I had done was remind them of gravity. Actions have weight. Lies collapse under their own mass. I didn't need to raise my voice. I didn't need to lift a hand. All I had to do was let their world devour itself. By morning, it would. And for the first time in years, I felt nothing at all.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.